This is Dr. J Life in the business of saving lives. First responder, responding to unnatural, artificial, man made disasters. This is us. Break the cycle. Break the cycle. This is the relaunch of Break the Cycle. This is I.T.B. Break the Cycle, Orlando, Florida. We have been doing this, breaking the cycle of artificial, unnatural, man made disasters. First responders to artificial, unnatural, man made disasters. Ever since early 90s, 1991, really 89, 90, with my older sister Terry, Lynn Leggett, and Phase One, we were being sent out by Pine Forge Academy all across the world to reach young people at the height of the war on drugs, at the height of the crack epidemic, the absolute peak of the crack epidemic, war on drugs. Pine Forge Academy was sending us out as high school students as the ones to communicate and bridge the gap, and nobody in the world was better at reaching young people, speaking to the issues of the day, providing a supernatural spiritual solution, being young individuals who grew up in them streets, Trenton, New Jersey. And so for the school to try and take credit, for the school to try and allow other institutions that don't come from where we come from, that don't care about the people that we care about, like a General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, for the school to try and attach itself to a General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and then extract tithe and tithe and tithe and tithe from our grandparents, and extract tithe and offering and tithe and offering and tithe and offering and tithe and offering and tithe and offering, and then raise tuition on those same parents sending tithe and offering and tithe and offering. And then when those parents want to try and send their kids to the institution, they can't afford to send tithe and offering and pay the tuition that the school is still raising. And then I watched as elementary after elementary that was being managed by the Allegheny East Conference and this new outside entity called the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, shut down elementary school after elementary school at the height of the crisis. Well, how are you shutting down elementary schools in the urban inner cities, at the same time raising tuition to where the people who live in those urban neighborhoods plagued by crime and violence and poverty, how can they go to your school if you price it to where nobody in that neighborhood can afford? And then the people who have been the lifeblood of it, you're taxing them through tithe and offering, and taxing them and taxing them. And then people who have been sending their children and their grandchildren and their older adult children, they can't send their grandchildren and their great grandchildren to the same exact institution that they've supported with tithe and offering. And then they want to send us to the school, send us out and go perform, and we go do it. And they want to send us out and go tell messages, but then they want to go tell the world, yes, we have the highest graduation rates. And then they want to go out and they want to hire people to come in and be teachers there who have never come from the inner city where we come from, who have never come to the institution that we come from. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is, we are Pine Forge Academy. Those of us that y'all saw pulling up in your churches in the 80s and the 90s. Before I went to Pine Forge Academy, me and my older sister, year round at the churches that we worked in, under Mom Harris, under Aunt Henrietta, under Aunt Elizabeth Betty Red at Mount Sinai Seventh Day Adventist Church, under Aunt Mary from Mount Sinai Seventh Day Adventist Church, under Grandma Hunter at St. Philip's Baptist Church, under Grandma Webb at St. Philip's Baptist Church, under Aunt Maggie Williams, under St. Philip's Baptist Church, all over the city. We served our community, we saved lives, and then these institutions, they pat themselves on the back, they take credit, and then they do what? They fail, they close their doors. Why? Because they aren't the lifeblood. So what we doing is we resurrecting all of those institutions. And when you only have one, that is not fruitful and multiply. When you only have one place in the world, pressed down, shaken together is every single corner, every single neighborhood will have the Pine Forge Academy Holy Land experience. If you want to get a makeover and break any negative cycle in your life, we are putting the institutions that we put in reach of our people back in reach of our people. From the time your children come out of the womb, my grandmother Webb used to go to the hospital and bless the babies every day. We're going to bless the babies every day as soon as they come out of the womb, and we're going to make them trust fund babies. No baby in our community will ever live a life of poverty and crime. Trust fund babies. And then when they want to go to school, we got a early childhood development school that my mother Beverly Webb went to college and created this system that she gave to us that we give to you. Early childhood development. When you get out of the early childhood development, kindergarten and elementary school, then we're going to take you to the middle school, the Jesse R. Wagner School, the Mount Sinai Seventh Day Adventist School that my Aunt Henrietta and my grandma Leggett invested in. Then when you get to high school, we're going to bring the Pine Forge Academy Falcon model to you in your neighborhood. Then when you want to become special forces and supernatural, and you want to enter to learn and depart to serve, we're going to bring the Oakwood University. We got 5 schools. We bringing them directly to you. Grand opening to your neighborhood. Your babies can enroll in our school. We got open enrollment today, right now, right here, right now, where we turning you into the storehouse. You know what God said? Will a man rob God, yet you have robbed me? Even this whole nation, you are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, because you are the storehouse, you are the bank. He said, don't you know that your body is the temple of God? And so they have not taught you how to cleanse your storehouse so that God could deposit your wealth into your storehouse. So we started a Let's Get in the Beginning Fit, a 90-day challenge where we're giving you a makeover. All right. And then once you get your makeover, we want to send you out. We want to teach you the plays and the skits, the performance arts and the finance arts. We want to put back the uniform, the in the beginning uniform on you. It's called a Hollywood star. We want to put the Hollywood star shine on you. So we doing a Hollywood star search down in Orlando, Florida. We gonna pay. We got educational, we got scholarships, full scholarships for you to come, good in our school, learn how to be broadcasted, learn how to give a makeover, learn how to be a lifesaver first. Learn how to put the shine on somebody else. And then we're going to pay you to play in our leagues. We're going to pay to broadcast Hollywood stars so that more people who want to become Hollywood stars. You could come from all over the country. We got transportation services. My son, Xavier Leggett, got a transportation service. I don't care where you are in the country. We'll send for you. It Listen, we got full scholarships, room, board, tuition to come to Orlando, Florida, to go to Full Sail University. I don't care if you're in middle school, I don't care, whatever. And if you want us to put it in your school, you got to come and you got to at least do a 90-day. You at least got to do a 90-day. Let's get in the beginning fit. Lifesaver training, boot camp. Everybody got to go to boot camp. Then you can go back to home with a contract. We got a Hollywood motion capture pictures package that we need to put on you. So we could put you in our video games. We could put you in our simulator. So listen, if you want to become an astronaut and learn how to fly the rocket, the first thing that NASA does is they bring you in and they train you in a simulator before they put you in the real thing so you don't crash and kill yourself. So the first thing you have to do if you want to become a Hollywood star is you have to go through the boot camp and the training. You got to get fit. All right, so this is an invitation. This is grand opening week. We back open. We're about to open back up Full Sail University. We about to open back up Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida is the corner where our family was rooted at. Okay? And so we challenging our Break the Cycle media company to launch Hollywood Studios and launch a network in 2025. Bigger than Hulu, bigger than Disney, bigger than Netflix. You can combine all of them up. I'm challenging my team at Break the Cycle to shoot and film 360 productions in 2025. And I'm willing to pay to put together 360 production companies and production teams to get it done. So this is a Hollywood star search for actors. This is a Hollywood star search for filmmakers, for graphic designers, for everything that you could think of, for audio engineers, for you name it, behind the scenes and in media and in graphics and technical. We want to put together 360 specific production entities and companies and teams to execute the goal to launch Hollywood Networks by the end of December 31st, 2025. And we looking for Hollywood stars that want to get paid. If you got a dead end life right now, you want to break the cycle in your life and get an upgrade and get a career in production, here's an opportunity of a lifetime. If you want to get in front of the camera and you want to break the cycle and go from a negative dead end crime, violence, crime don't pay, or if you got felons, if you've been caught in a life of addiction or a life of drugs or a life of prostitution, it doesn't matter, or homelessness, or if you're a child, if you have been in foster care all your life and never had nobody ever to love you, never ever had no family, you've never ever had anybody to depend on or look out for you or anything. If you want to break that cycle, we got a home for you. This is a homecoming. We've been doing this for 30 plus years, and they've been intercepting. They've been moving you around and putting you in institutions so that they can leech off of you. All we want to do is press down, shaking together, running over. All right. Get to Orlando, Florida, no matter where you at. Figure out where 516 South Paramore Avenue, Ray of Light Rehabilitation, Ray of Light Community Development Center, Pastor Anthony Lewis, Sister Edrene Lewis. Get to Orlando, Florida. Listen, 863-219-8432. 863-219-8432. Text, save me now. Text, save me now. And when I send my son and my daughter, Xavier and Danny, they got a transportation service. They'll come and get you. I send my son, Amifika, and my daughter, Destiny. They got our Air Force. They got their own dedicated planes. We got our own dedicated planes. My my daughter Deja, she the Hot Wheels. And my little son Damon, he the highest speed rail. No matter what you need, listen. Like I said, my son Xavier, he the long term, he the RV, he the CDL. He come and get you in bulk. He could pick up your whole city, your whole squad, your whole family, your whole neighborhood. They coming with full RVs to pick up whole neighborhoods of y'all, bring y'all down. Listen, but when you come down here, you're going through boot camp to become a lifesaver. Before we save your life, we gotta train you how to save other people's lives, and then we're gonna pay you what you're worth. All right, this my people is where we come from. Listen, this is a no more trauma tour. We raise perfect angels. We lost the angel. We lost the angel. This is Sean. He died at 13. He died at 13. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Football, basketball, absolutely perfect. Everything we asked him to do, he did it. Absolutely perfect. We raised perfect babies, yo. And when one of these pass away, it's an opportunity for thousands, for millions. When a perfect one like Sean go to sleep, we got a shot for we got a slot for millions. This is my main man, Big Ooh. Our whole city, we live and breathe for Razor Sharp, Bill Hackett, Sean Hackett, Jalen Hackett, Lil Bill Hackett, Diane Hackett, Butch Hackett. We live and breathe. We live and breathe. Matty Matt, and all of the brothers, all of the cousins of Sean, all of the family members of Sean Hackett. We live and breathe. Our city live and breathe. So we doing outdoor festivals. We doing large scale events to give the young people access to do what it is they love and get paid for doing pro recreation instead of crime and violence. We host large scale events right now in Orlando, Florida. We buying a venue today. Is we're Break the Cycle Live, where we're gonna do all of our auditions. We're gonna audition our dancers. We're gonna audition our cheerleaders. We're gonna do casting calls and for all these roles in 360 different movies. Singers, we auditioning our singers. We auditioning our band. We putting together a 40,000 piece hip hop symphony orchestra, and we need a venue to have you come and play. And then we got a Let's Get I.T.B Fit challenge. So we got a full service restaurant in there, and we doing plant based. We doing everything to destroy chronic illnesses and give you the makeover. A makeover, a total transformation. All right. So we the transformers. We're gonna transform and transfigure lives. Man, big cool. Can't live this no more. 90 days, big old. No for the boys. Don't know if you want money, don't know. I can't live this no more. Wilson Holmes all day, every day. Shout out to the Boulevard. Uh, Shout out to Hoffman Avenue. Stuyvesant. Yeah. Don't forget, I rep Ray Mason's. Yeah. All right. And, so Dollar Bill got a studio in our barbershop because our family was so passionate about the hood having access. That is why I'm at Full Sail University. My Uncle Bub always wanted us in our generation to take the access to the music that my mom, Dollar Bill's mom, Aunt Diane, their oldest brother, Bub, their other oldest brother, Bruce. Everybody in my family was musically inclined. My Uncle Bruce recorded albums. My mom dedicated a life to making sure that y'all in Trenton had access to tell y'all story in music and film. That's why Dollar Bill got a studio in his barbershop. So y'all need to take advantage of the greatest resources that you will ever see. The sacrifice and the investment that my grandmother Leggett and my grandfather Leggett made so that my mom's vision of music and the arts, this is your own Juilliard. We don't do anything else but hip hop, and we do it better than anybody else. Producing movies, films, anything you name it. You listen, y'all talking about a plug. Razor Sharp is the plug of plugs. Full Sail University makes all of the whole everybody in the industry comes to Full Sail University to be able to produce for their Grammys, for their Oscars, for their Golden Globes. That's the university I'm a three-time grad of. And I have a supernatural team of my alumnus who are dedicated to getting our school campus back thriving with individuals who don't want to jump online and take a degree, but who want to go all in. If you want to go all in into your career, and if you want an option out of the streets, if you want an option, if you want music to be your option, this is it. But you got to go all in. Ain't no online, nothing. You got to physically bring that passion down and go all in. You could go right there to Dollar Bill. You could go to Rue. You could go to Eight. You could go to Maurice Webb at Razor Sharp. You could go to Dome in the streets. Anybody know how to get at me. You could go down Hoffman and listen. Just go ask for Xavier Robeson. Just go ask for Xavier Robeson. My son Xavier is named after Xavier. This is the plug of plugs. If you want to make movies, if you want to design, you want to be an animator, you want to be a gamer, you want to be anything other than the dead end death options that's out there. You could go over to Mason's Barber and Beauty on Pennington Avenue, and Amos Dean is the same thing in my life that Dollar Bill is. We've been in them streets. My grandpops raised his two children in Frazier homes. We are the projects of Trenton. We are the bridge. Frazier homes. My grandpops in one generation got his two sons and his wife out of Frazier home projects to building and developing buildings all over and investing in us to make sure that y'all got access. So what y'all gonna do with it? We done brought y'all E.T. the hip hop preacher. We done brought y'all access. We done brought y'all access. Listen, man, and we the best ballers to ever come out of Trenton. Troy Vincent, that's my direct cousin. Right there on Walnut Avenue. You can go down Walnut Avenue and ask anybody about Dr. J. Ask anybody about Damon Leggett on Walnut Avenue. Go stop in 200 block and talk to Percy, Big Percy. Go down there and talk to little Percy, Brian Williams. He's in them trenches right there with Troy Vincent all day, every day. Troy came out in the mid to late 80s, and I was right on his heels, right behind him. Troy only football. I'm not only football. Football is the favorite, but football, basketball, same time Allen Iverson was destroying, I was destroying. Same time Kobe Bryant was destroying, I was destroying. Yeah. So if you want out, this is the out. My mom told me to just pave the way. Don't talk about nothing. Be about it. The greatest sermon is the one that's lived. We done lived it all day, every day. So, and for the rest of the world, just know, same thing I did in Trenton, I did in Chicago. Same thing I did in Trenton, I did in Chicago. Football, basketball, in the illest hoods, in the illest projects, in the illest everything. And if you ask them about football or basketball, or if you ask about saving lives, if you ask about transformation and transfiguration, you want to go down south, we could go down to Huntsville, Alabama. We can go down to Atlanta. We can go down to Tennessee. You get the same exact thing. D. Leggett, Razor Sharp, From the Heart, Mason's Barber and Beauty. Trenton Makes the World takes Huntsville. Trenton Makes the World takes Nashville. Trenton Makes the World takes Birmingham. So if you want out, the path has been paved. It's just a homecoming to see whoever else want to get it. All right. We open it up venues. It's called Break the Cycle Live. Break the Cycle Live. Instead of y'all running away from home and y'all running out to LA and y'all running out to California, y'all catching buses and whatever. Listen, I don't care how you get here when you can. All right. So I'm gonna show you Danka Beasley. Danka Beasley. This is receipts. This is receipts. So my son, Xavier, and my daughter Deja. My daughter is 25. All right. And when my son was being born, I named him very specific names. He is a bright and shining light. The Lord is his salvation, and he is worth dying for. He is a bright and shining light. That's Xavier. The Lord is his salvation. Joshua, the same Joshua that led the people into the promised land. He is a bright and shining light. The Lord is his salvation, and he is worth dying for. So, uh, where's that? Oh, there you go. So I took my little son after I had my daughter Deja right behind him. I took him to Chicago. And I took him to Chicago and I put them both every summer in a basketball camp with Michael Finley, who was playing for the Spurs at the time. Michael Finley and my kids ended up basketball superstars. And when they was little shorties, my team that I was coaching was a group of high school shorties that I was keeping out of the streets. I'm talking about break the cycle. You see the company up top, it says I.T.B. break the cycle. And I was using my man right here, E.T. the hip hop preacher, to reach. He from Chicago. We have moved to Chicago. My wife from Chicago. We leave Trenton, go to Huntsville, Alabama for college. We leave college at Huntsville, Alabama to go to Chicago after getting married and having two children in Huntsville, Alabama. My kids is born in Huntsville. So Huntsville is our city. The birthright of Xavier and Deja is Huntsville, Alabama. Don't know Confederates control the South. Don't know that birthright. My wife had her two children there. The birthright controls the land. Birthright to the tree of life. Okay. So the whole world, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, for 10 years in 2002, they've been consuming E.T., the hip hop preacher. All right. So in 2002 and 2003 and beyond, we trying to give him a media presence now that we got the internet and now that we got YouTube and social media coming and all of that. And so because it's not there yet, I'm using the stories that I witnessed while running with him to be able to communicate to individuals trapped in crime and violence and gang banging and dropping out of high school. And I'm like, yo, got a man from Chicago who somebody gave him an opportunity and he took the most of it. This is the thing. hold up. Let's go back. Go back. What I'm telling you is the country made a decision to invest in the 13th Amendment and invest in convict leasing. They decided to invest in the prison industrialized complex. They decided to invest in mass incarceration. The business model of the federal government is to mass incarcerate people of color, period. No matter what you say, no matter who you from, where you from, or whatever, the business model cannot work because the people that they mass incarcerate, and God said, when you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me. And if you're mass incarcerating the least of these, you are mass incarcerating the King of Kings again. They locked him up one time before they crucified him. You can't lock his children up again. That's double jeopardy. When Moses struck the rock twice, Moses died. And so we've been showing the world how to save the lives of our people, but because the world has invested in capitalizing off of the very people, you are what capitalism is built off of on. They're saying if people of color are not locked up, we don't have any economy anywhere. Capitalism is built off of the people of color being at the bottom. It's called a caste society. It comes from what England put in India to enslave the Indians. They went east first, and now they're trying to implement it in the West unsuccessfully. But what I'm showing you is this is proof that what we are offering you again today in our relaunch works because we launched this in 1999 in Chicago and it's still going. Everybody that you see in this gym, this was an empty gym before I walked into it with the father of this child. The father of this child is Danka Beasley. This is King Beasley. This is proof that break the cycle works. This is lives that would have been lost if we didn't go and offer an opportunity to Danka and the 64 individuals that was playing in the league. This is just one branch of a tree that had 64 different limbs on it. And this is just one branch in one city out of countless cities that we have been doing this all my life. So now y'all get the bet. You got to go all in. You could get with this or you could get with that. You could get with this or you could get with that. I think you get with this because this is where it's at. The choice is yours. You could get with this or you could get with that. This is proof. Danka Beasley. So I'm here in Orlando, Florida. This is registration day. If y'all want to play in these leagues, you got 24 hours today and tomorrow to be a coach, family members. Every last one of y'all supposed to be a owner of the franchise in your city. You supposed to be the bank so that anybody that can't pay the registration fee because you got to listen. There's a actual simulation suit. The cost to put you in the video games, into the simulator, to be able to train you to be a lifeguard and a lifesaver. There are costs. And all of the businesses in the community that got 501c3s and all of that, it is your job to be the sponsor of every person in your community that wants to pay the registration fees to be able to play in this league, to be able to be transformed, transfigured. It's you. Because instead of getting a criminal in 5 to 10 years, 85% of those who drop out of high school commit violent crimes in their community that they live in. All we're doing is we're guaranteeing that in the next 5 to 10 years, that the population of criminals in your neighborhood does not continue to grow. And we're passing that cost along to you, Mr. Business Owner, to you, Mr. Nonprofit Organization. No more trauma. No more. We will never, ever, ever let a child grow up and only get an education. Because an education without wealth or knowledge only leads to poverty and crime and violence. You can't eat education. And so many people are getting education and can't get jobs, and then they pay to get an education, and all they got is debt. And then they going and getting a low page, low wage job, and they can't even afford to have a family, raise a family, nothing. And they going and getting education. If what you're teaching doesn't have a financial wealth component, then you're robbing people and robbing God. If in what you're offering to individuals is not pressed down, shaken together, running over wealth, even in employment, any employer that is not giving, every employer pressed down, shaken together, running over wealth is a thief. And if you can't get there nowhere else, that's the only thing we offering. So if you want to upgrade, we proven that our model works for 30 plus years. There's a cost. When your kids come into our leagues, we put the same time into all kids that his dad put into him, because we put it into a day. We don't lose kids to crime. We don't lose kids to nothing. If you, young ladies, if you want to get a husband, if your goal is to find a husband, we are the number one marriage makers group in the world. To you adult women, to you queens who gotten abused in hip hop, no, abused with these rappers. Let me talk directly to Faith Evans. Let me talk directly to Beyonce. Let me talk directly. Let me be very, very, very specific. We're about to do tributes. All of these people, all of these wannabe nations around the world trying to act like, listen, the queens that suffered through these low down, you can't even call them men. We talk about Mary J. Blige. We've seen the abuse that these individuals went through. We talking about careers that they derailed on purpose, so that only in the art form where people of color are, it's the most raunchy and derogatory because these men wanted it that way. When Lauren Hill was coming and just bringing talent, they ain't want that. They didn't want that. When Eve was coming and just bringing talent, when TLC, so to all of our queens, to Foxy Brown, who had to endure that garbage, to Rihanna, who had to endure that garbage. We doing tributes to all of y'all queens. To all of the many actresses who had to endure that. We doing tributes to all of y'all. We telling y'all to come home. To the only king, lion kings on the planet. We got an institution outside of Philadelphia that we own and control. Pine Forge Academy. Just pull up the Pine Forge Academy and ask for Dr. J Life, period. Mary J, Faith Evans, Beyonce, and we're going to do tributes and outdoor music festivals throughout the year. And we're going to make y'all over. No more trauma. Okay? No more trauma. This is break the cycle. We got the most expensive, most luxurious makeover yacht club and spa here in Orlando, Florida. We grand open. And we taking registrations and memberships. When y'all go to try and become a country club member anywhere, Donald Trump got a country club that he belonged to. They pay like $500,000 to be an initial member, and then the annual re-up is like $100,000. We 4 times worth the most luxurious country club in the world. So if y'all want in, y'all gotta be all in. And if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. We're gonna tax the other individuals in your community who want to do business in our community. We're not supporting no businesses that's not supporting transformation and transfiguration. You can't do business in our nation and partake in trauma. So if you want a makeover, just come get the makeover and we'll make sure that it's paid for by individuals that want to make money in our nation. You got to be an asset. You can't be a liability. A trauma is a liability. All right. We breaking the cycle of trauma. We breaking the cycle of capitalism. Ain't no capitalism. It's dominion. It's replenishment. It's fruitful and multiply. It's tree of life, not poisonous death. Got it? Break the cycle. I dare you.